Hi, this is Susan, and what we're going to do today is we're going to be making a book for the holidays. And this is a gingerbread book. Here's the gingerbread house. You open it up, and when you stretch it out, there are gingerbread men inside. Now, you know I like to use recycled materials, so what we're using for this is the bottom of a grocery bag, and we're going to cut the gingerbread men out of either the front or the back of the grocery bag. I've got the front here. It's got a little bit of a kind of a notch here, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to trim this off. And now I've got my full piece. What I want to do with this is I'm going to fold it in half because I want my piece to be long and skinny to make my gingerbread men. I'm going to fold it in half. You can cut it one of two ways. You can open it up like this. You can cut along here. But what I like to do is actually just cut along the fold. So I'm snipping off the fold. So I'm just going to snip it right here. And I've taken it off the fold, and now I have two separate pieces. I'm going to use one of them. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it like an accordion. So I'm going to fold it in half, and you'll notice that I'm folding it with the writing on the inside. If your bag has writing, doesn't have writing on it, doesn't matter. If it does, you want it to be on the inside when you fold it in half. Then I'm going to take it, I'm going to take one edge, I'm going to flip this edge back to meet the fold, and I'm going to crease it. Now, of course, you'll be doing this on the table, so it will be easier for you to do. You can, if you want, take the side of your scissors and just rub it along the edge to get a nice flat crease. Then I'm going to flip it over so the big side is on the top, and now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the edge, I'm going to flip it back to meet the fold, and then I'm going to crease it. Now, so we're all set now to turn this into our gingerbread people. We can do this one of two ways. I do have, when you get to the end of the video, you'll see that there are some patterns. So you can use a pattern, and if you're working with young children, that's certainly what I would suggest. But I'm going to do it freehand just to show you how, because it's actually a very simple thing that we're drawing. I'm going to put my gingerbread person right here. I want to make sure it's centered. When I was doing that, I was finding that was one of the things I had a little trouble with. So I'm just going to take the top, fold it over in half. I'm not going to crease it. What I'm going to do is just pinch it at the top, and then that's just going to give me a little indication of where the center is. And then so I'll know that that's where I want to make my head. I'm just going to go do my gingerbread head here, and then it needs some arms, and then here's the other part of the arm, and it's going to have some legs. Now, if you want to make a gingerbread lady with a skirt, you could leave it like that. Otherwise, we can cut some legs here. And I'll go ahead. This is a little bit of a strange looking gingerbread person, but I'm actually going to kind of round it out a little bit better as I cut it here. So I'll go around. Now I've got the top cut off. We'll do the arms. And you can see actually that I haven't exactly followed my pencil lines. It's kind of nice to have it as a general thing, but I'm kind of winging it as I go. And we'll cut here. And now we have our little gingerbread person. So the gingerbread person is done, and now it's time for the house. Here's my grocery bag. Here's my bottom of the grocery bag. I'm going to start by folding it in half. So I folded my bag in half. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to take each side and bring it into the center. So this side here is going to get folded into meet the middle. And again, this will be much easier for you when you're doing it on the table, but it's a little bit easy because we've got some bulk here in all the layers. And then we'll do the other side. Take the edge and bring it in to meet the fold. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this down on the table for a minute, and I'm going to just take my scissors and go over the edge because I am having a little bit of trouble not having it flat to get a thing. Okay, so now I've got my thing. It's a little bit crooked, but I'm not going to worry about it. What I want to do now is to make the peak on my house. So the easiest way to do that is just to bend these two sides back. And now I have this right here. This right here is going to be my guide for cutting the peak of the house. And I'm going to take my scissors here like this. And it's going to be a little hard to get through these layers. And I'm just going to cut it here like this. So now I have, open it up, I've got my house, and my house has peaks on it. The next thing I would do at this point is to decorate the house. And to do that, what I've done here is I have gingerbread. For icing, I use just white paper and cut little zigzags on it. If you have shape scissors, that would work really well for this. I try to keep my things so that I don't use any kind of extra special tools. But if you do have shape scissors and you use them, they would be great to use here. For this, I cut these out of, these are from wrapping paper. I use my collage box. I also have at the end of the thing, in that PDF, there is also this sheet here, which has patterns for candy that you can color in and then cut out and glue on. And I would also suggest at this point, so I think the best thing is to get everything ready before this. So I would also do the gingerbread men at this point. And what you want to do for that, there are 3 things that you can use. I used a white marker. You could also use a colored pencil, or you could also use a white crayon. Now, I'm saying all this white because I'm a real purist about gingerbread cookies, and I only like them with white icing, and I only actually like them with, I don't like slathered icing, I like just little bits, so you get just the right amount of sweet from the sugar and bite from the gingerbread. But you can, of course, use other markers or do other things if you want. So we have both pieces together. I'm going to do one more thing to the house, which is going to be to add the doorknob and the latch. Now, if you're working with young children, I would suggest just leaving it at that and not bothering with the doorknob and the latch. But if you want to add them, I'm going to show you how to do it. So one side is going to have the doorknob, one side is going to have the latch. And I'm going to use the scissors to poke the hole. So this is another reason why I don't really want young children to be doing it. I'm going to take the scissors, I'm going to poke it in here, and you want it to be fairly close to the edge. And I'm going to poke a hole on one side and a hole on the other. Now, the reason that I'm using the scissors to make the hole and not a hole punch, which I often use, is that I don't want the holes to be so big, because we're going to be kind of anchoring these on behind, and otherwise if we use the hole punch, the hole's going to be too big. So one side is going to have the doorknob, and that's what I'm going to do first. So here I have a bead and I have a piece of yarn, and I'm going to thread the yarn into the bead. Now, when I thread yarn, what I like to do, if you just take the raw end of the yarn and poke it through, this time actually it went through beautifully, but very often it will become unraveled. So what I like to do is bend it over, so I make a little loop, twist the loop, and then stick the loop through. Now I'm going to pull the yarn so that it's even on both ends, coming here, and I'm going to tie a double knot. Tie just one knot, actually. I'm just going to tie a knot so that the bead is right in the middle. And then from the outside of the book, I'm going to I want to push these 2 ends of yarn into the hole. And to do that, I find it easiest to use the scissors to help me push it through. It's pretty tricky to get it through otherwise. So I've got my yarn through. Here it is through here. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to tie a double knot right back here. And that should be enough to hold it. So here's my double knot. And then if the ends are a little bit long, you can trim them, but anytime you have a knot, you don't want to trim you don't want to ever trim anything right at the knot, because then it's going to unravel. So I've got this side done, so now I've got my doorknob done, and now I'm going to do my latch. I'm going to take another piece of yarn, about like this, I'm going to fold it in half. This time I'm going to be going through from the inside of the house. I'm going to be pushing from the inside of the house out, and you can try it. It might work fine without the scissors, or you might need them. That seemed to work okay. Now, what I want to do is, because this is the latch, I need to have it be tight enough so it stays, but make sure that it reaches over. So I'm going to set up my latch here, and then I'm going to take it off of the knob. And what I want to do next, and this is just a temporary thing, I'm not going to leave it here, but I'm going to take a piece of tape and just tape it down. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to tie a knot here, and I don't want the size of the loop to change. So then I'm going to tie a double knot back here. Trim the ends, if I think I'll trim the ends. And then I'll take off the tape. I use just regular tape, but if you use masking tape, you probably have even a better luck of not having anything come off. and then this can go around here. So here we have, this is very simple. Here we have our gingerbread house. Open the latch and have the gingerbread people inside. And one more thing, you might want to have more than 4 people in your gingerbread house. You might want to have a longer string of gingerbread. My suggestion for that is to just join 2 sections together. What I have here is just a little piece of brown paper. I folded it in half. What I would do is glue it to the arms here. Oops, this way. So if you want the fold to be matching the edge of the thing, fold this here and then glue that there. Then I'm going to put glue here and glue the other one on here, and then you'll have a longer string. The only other thing I would just say is that I think it's easiest to fold accordions in 4. So say you only wanted to add 2 gingerbread men, I would still do 2 sets of 4 and then trim off the other 2, and then you could find something, use those on a package decoration or something like that. So I hope that you enjoy making this book. My reminder, as always, is that don't let kids have all the fun and make one yourself. If you're for the adults watching, and happy bookmaking, and I'll see you soon.